If personal flying cars became universal, our world would transform in ways both extraordinary and chaotic. Imagine a future where every person owns a vehicle that can leave the road and soar above traffic. At first glance, this sounds like the end of traffic jams, long commutes, and crowded highways. Flying cars could reshape cities, reduce the need for massive road networks, and open up untouched areas for living and exploration. But beneath the excitement lies an avalanche of challenges, technological, environmental, and even societal, that could redefine how humanity lives. The most obvious change would come in transportation. Instead of waiting in traffic for hours, people could take to the skies and get from place to place in minutes. Long drives would become short flights. Commuters could live hundreds of kilometers away from their workplace and still make it on time. Cities would begin to spread out, not just across land, but vertically, as people build apartment towers with skylines and landing pads. Airports, highways, and railways might lose relevance as the sky becomes a new kind of highway. Imagine the freedom of looking out of your window, jumping into your car, and flying straight into the clouds without worrying about roadblocks. But if everyone takes to the skies, the sky will quickly become crowded and dangerous. Today, air travel is carefully controlled with strict rules, flight paths, and air traffic controllers managing planes. Now imagine millions of small flying cars buzzing overhead, each driven by everyday people with varying levels of skill. Without powerful AI or automation to coordinate them, accidents would be unavoidable. Mid-air collisions, falling debris, and emergency crash landings could become a terrifying everyday risk. Governments would need to build a whole new system of digital skyways, automatic navigation, and safety regulations to keep order in this flying rush hour. Another challenge would be the environment. Flying cars could run on advanced electric batteries or hydrogen, but if they relied on traditional fuel, the carbon emissions would be catastrophic. Billions of flying vehicles pumping exhaust directly into the atmosphere could worsen climate change at an alarming pace. Noise pollution would also become unbearable. Imagine millions of small aircraft hovering, landing, and taking off in every neighborhood. Cities could sound like non-stop airports. To solve this, future flying cars would need to be nearly silent, energy efficient, and pollution-free. That means breakthroughs in clean propulsion technology would be just as important as the vehicles themselves. Economics and accessibility would also raise big questions. When flying cars first appear, they will likely be expensive and only available to the rich. But if they became universal, the price would need to drop dramatically. This could disrupt industries that rely on ground transport, from trucking to taxis to trains. Delivery drones might evolve into delivery cars, carrying goods directly through the sky. Tourism would explode as people could simply fly themselves over oceans, mountains, and deserts. Yet the divide between those who can afford the safest, most advanced flying cars and those stuck with outdated, less reliable ones could deepen social inequality. Urban planning would be forced to change entirely. Today, cities are built around roads, highways, and parking lots. In a flying car era, we would need rooftop landing pads, high-rise refueling stations, and sky bridges connecting buildings. Police forces, fire departments, and medical responders would all need aerial vehicles to chase criminals, fight fires from above, or airlift patients from skyscrapers. The entire architecture of our cities would look more like science fiction, with layered roads in the sky instead of on the ground. Psychologically, the freedom of flight would completely change how humans see the world. People could escape crowded areas, live in remote places, or travel with incredible speed. On the other hand, the sense of privacy might vanish. With flying cars crossing neighborhoods at low altitude, people might feel like they are constantly being watched from above. The sky, once a free and wide open space, would transform into a noisy, congested, regulated domain full of floating advertisements, sky police drones, and traffic lights in the clouds. In the end, universal flying cars wouldn't just change how we travel. They would transform civilization at its core. Our cities, our environment, our laws, our economy, and even our daily lives would need to be reimagined. Humanity would gain unprecedented freedom, but also face greater risks than ever before. Perhaps the question is not if we can build universal flying cars, but whether we are truly ready for the consequences of bringing the dream of personal flight into reality.